love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just level up. Don't be scared. Back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't be scared. Just level up. Don't be scared.
Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Football live stream for Week 14. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me, of course, is Andrew Erickson, and it's you. We're going to break down your questions here right live on the YouTube. A special shout-out for our good friend Ryan, who took over on short notice for me the other day on Tuesday. So thank you for Ryan, and thank you for all those of you in the comments and on Twitter and everywhere else with your kind messages. I appreciate it. My family appreciates it as well. My dad's been dealing with some unfortunate medical issues for some time, and Tuesday was a day I just could not avoid missing shows. So I hate to miss shows. I hate to miss all of you, but some things you gotta prioritize sometimes. So thanks again for everybody who reached out. I appreciate it, and I have amazing colleagues like Andrew Erickson and Chris and all the other people who are Fantasy Pros. So I'm very grateful for all of you, and I'm grateful for football. And we've got some football news to get to. So while we're letting the questions trickle in here, let's talk about something we just touched on the podcast. We just recorded the pod, which you're going to love, because D-Bro may or may not have a giant hat for the entire podcast that I bought him for Christmas. Just saying, you might want to set your watches, set all your notifications for when that pod drops later today or tomorrow. Let's talk about the Desmond Ridder news. Apparently, the Falcons are going to come back from the bye with a new QB under center. And I, for one, am very happy. What do you think that impact is for Drake London and company?
I think it's a positive for those types of players. You know, the issue with the Falcons has not been, Drake London's target share. It's been just the actual number of targets he's seeing in the Falcons passing game, which really it's really non-existent. It's really a running game. So I think that because they're starting a new quarterback, it makes all the sense in the world that they would try to at least increase the passing attempts a little bit to see what they have in Desmond Ridder. It doesn't make any sense to just run the exact same offense where you're never going to see him throw the ball and then go into the offseason being like, okay, we know if Desmond Ridder can be our guy. Can he not be our guy? We have to draft a quarterback. Like, they need to answer that question over the next 4 weeks here with Desmond Ridder. So to me, it's like, okay, they're going to maybe throw 25 to 30 times a game versus the sub 20 pass attempts that we're seeing from Marcus Mariota. So because Drake London has shown that he can command a high volume of targets, I think that's good for him. And I think we see potentially more receiving work for guys like Cordero Patterson, who's really been inconsistent as a receiver as well. So the two main guys that people really are focusing on fantasy, Drake London and Patterson, I think it is an upgrade just from a raw volume standpoint. And honestly, nobody could overthrow more players than Marcus Mariota has done this year. Like the amount of air yards Drake London and Kyle Pitts were getting, just air yards and nothing to show for it. I mean, look, Ritter's not perfect, but I think he has to be better than Marcus Mariota.
The one thing you could say about Ritter is I always found him in Cincinnati to be accurate. You could talk about maybe does he have a big arm? Does he have, the speed or any of that stuff? No, he doesn't have any of those things, but he was accurate with the football, and he was an excellent leader. The guys loved him in Cincinnati. I mean, they'll tell you, and the coaching staff loved him. Everybody loved him, and I think that matters too. I think, quarterback is about the tangibles and about the intangibles, and I think Ritter's got a lot of the intangibles. He needs to fix some of the other things, obviously, as he gets to the NFL level. But I, for one, I'm curious to see. I'm optimistic, especially for the shares of Drake London and Kyle Pitts that I have in Dynasty, what that does to those shares. I'd like to see those start to take a little uptick there, or maybe Ritter's not the guy, and maybe next year they're back in the market for another QB. We shall see when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. Let's get to some of all of you and your questions. Before we do, remember, if you've got questions, we've got answers, but the only way you get your question answered is how? You have to subscribe to our YouTube channel over at Fantasy Pros. So subscribe, click that little bell till it goes ding, like the stream, and you might win a Jerry Jeudy football. Andrew Erickson is very, very excited about Jerry Jeudy this week. He went on and on. It's like he didn't even know who Cortland Sutton was anymore. And I don't know who Andrew Erickson is anymore. But I do know that this football is autographed by Jerry Jeudy from pristineauction.com. So again, like the stream, subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, click the bell so you can get notified if you are the big winner of this football right here. Let's get to your questions, and we'll start with James Shank. Hey guys, need the win to get to the playoffs. Buy and start one. Etienne, Mostert, or James Cook. These three players we discussed at length on the podcast today. So we're going to give you the short minute version here. So Etienne, we're all kind of afraid of. Mostert, we're into, but it's hard to start him over Etienne. And then you got James Cook, who's kind of the wild card here. Erickson, you got one shot at the buy. Who are you trusting?
I'm just going to lock in Etienne with the floor that he offers. I know the matchup's not great for him, but he still saw all of the RB opportunities last week, coming off the injury. Mostert, I think that he'll be the lead back, but Mike McDaniel has shown that he's more than willing to just ride Jeff Wilson instead. Like, it is a question mark. The matchup is good, but we don't know how much volume Mostert will see. And James Cook, yes, he looks like the lead back, but the Jets are a tougher matchup still, like regardless. And Devin Singletary is not just going to be totally phased out entirely of the offense. So I'm going to chase the volume here with Travis Etienne.
I agree. I don't feel great about it, but I think you just got to give it a shot. Andrew Almendarez, White or Fournette? This is what happens when you've got the two guys for the one spot on the same team. But look, this is where we're at here in week 14. We're missing a lot of bodies with the buys and the injuries. So full PPR, you want to go ahead with a target volume that White was getting, or maybe the touchdown equity Fournette brings? How do you approach this?
I'm going with Rachaad White. I think that I don't think Tom Brady and this offense is going to magically become this red zone juggernaut, especially against the 49ers defense. I mean, they struggle in the red zone anyway. They may not score a touchdown in this game, and if that's the case, you're going to want to have Rachaad White because he's more explosive than Leonard Fournette, and they both obviously catch a ton of passes. So that's going to give you some juice in PPR. So I would go with the younger running back who still started last week. I know Fournette played more than White did, but White was still the starter and got the first run before they took him out to get Fournette some action. So I'll go with White.
White just looks like the better back right now at this stage of what's going on in week 14. Kofi Abbas, our good friend Kofi, always here. So loyal, Kofi. We love you, buddy. Huntley or Lawrence, or should I pick up? Oh, and should I drop Gus? Yes, you drop Gus Edwards. It's fine. You could do that. Bye-bye. It's fine. I went on a big rant about that too. So more of that on the podcast. You can get all your Gus Edward rants in there. Huntley or Lawrence? I understand that Huntley is a guy that has put up fantasy points before, but I'm still starting Trevor Lawrence here. How about you, Andrew?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, there's potentially that this decision can be made for you because Lawrence did come up with a toe injury. I know that he said he's going to play. Players say that all the time and then they don't play. So yeah, right now, if they're both active, I'm going to play Lawrence, but come 11:30 on Sunday, I could say Lawrence is not playing. Well, then Tyler Huntley's your starting quarterback.
There you go. Thanks, Dominic. Appreciate your well wishes there. Melee Among Us, pick up DPJ or Demarcus Robinson. I think I'd rather have DPJ long term here. How about you?
Yeah, I think if you're just playing for this particular week, I do think that the Steelers matchup is a little bit better. And Demarcus Robinson got all the targets last week. All the volume he saw last week came from Tyler Huntley.
Mhm.
So there is some connection between those two players. So I think that for this week, if you're just looking for a fill-in because of the bye weeks, I think that Robinson's probably the better option. But long-term, yeah, I'd rather have Peoples-Jones.
Carlos Munoz Lopez, Goff, or Kyler Murray this week in the PPR. Well, this is again, PPR doesn't matter for quarterbacks, boys and girls. Let's keep that in mind. Carlos, but Goff is a very tantalizing matchup this week here with the Minnesota Vikings, and Kyler Murray's playing the Patriots, and the Patriots defense sometimes can throw some wrinkles at you. Now the Pats have been far from perfect this year, and they've struggled with some mobile quarterback play. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
This is a very tough one. Murray's clearly going to be the safe choice. And I think the rushing floor he brings, you kind of lock in your points. I think it's still Murray, but I get the question. And I think it's a lot tighter than people might realize. It's my trust level of the floor of Murray versus maybe Goff does have this huge upside game, but I think I'm still playing Murray, which you might disagree with.
No, it's close. I'm pretty sure I have them ranked back to back, which seems kind of like, that seems crazy that these guys would be so closely ranked, but you hit the nail on the head. The Patriots traditionally do struggle against mobile quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of Cliff Kingsbury versus Bill Belichick. and like the disadvantage that the Cardinals have with that particular matchup.
Well, you can say that about the Bears matchup too. And that certainly went sideways.
Yeah, but they had extra time. The Bears did. They were using a lot of Lamar Jackson stuff. I just think that, the Bears, who has a more creative offense, the Bears or the Cardinals? I would say the Bears. Like at this point, like we've seen this Cliff Kingsbury experiment for 3 years, and it's just
the Bears offense has the better improvisational offense. I would say. Well, here's a fun fact. This might be the deciding factor too. Despite good matchups, bad matchups, whatever you want to talk about, Jared Goff, he put up 22 points last week. He had not put up 20 points in a game all the way back to week 4. If you look at the game log, just trying to study the game log of what you can expect. You've got going backwards 26, 19, 27, 17, 16, 17 for Kyler Murray. So it's a very consistent level of play where it's somewhere between 17 and 25 points. Like that's a pretty good, you can kind of set it and forget it. I don't think it's going to matter at the end of the day. Like I don't think this is going to win or lose you a matchup this week personally. Like I think it's the decision you make at RB2 and wide receiver 3 and flex is going to make it. These guys are going to be probably both in the 20 range, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, and even though I talked about how Belichick can shut down this offense, that doesn't necessarily mean Kyler Murray's not going to get rushing yards. You look at his numbers with DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Brown, like they're good. So I think Murray's probably the safest bet, but it really would not surprise me at all if Goff does have more points at the end of the day. It's close.
Next up is Slick Nick. Start Hollywood Brown or Josh Palmer this week.
I think it depends. If Mike Williams doesn't play, I would definitely still start Josh Palmer. Just a better offense, tons of volume that the Chargers throw the ball a ton in a shootout versus Marquise Brown is just. I feel good about Marquise Brown. I think I saw him as a top 24 receiver, and if Mike Williams is active, then I would start him.
Here's a fun one. You're gonna love this question from Gary Bracey, not Gary Busey. Let's not get them confused. Although it'd be fun to have Gary Busey on the show. Chris, can we lock in a guest? Can we get Gary Busey on the show? That ratings bonanza. Full PPR, Gabe Davis or DPJ? Yikes.
I'm going to probably go with Gabe Davis still. He has Josh Allen and DPJ has Deshaun Watson. So unless you're expecting another Peoples-Jones kickoff return for a touchdown, which I'm not, or a punt return, I'm probably just going to still
play. Can you imagine
Gabe.
how awful it's going to be? Like if Watts has another bad game or two, people are like, can we just put Brissett back in, please? Can we just do that? They're going to call for it. What's going to happen. Corey Price, win or go home situation. All right, for all the marbles here. Need a flex in the half-point PPR. Singletary or Palmer?
Palmer for me.
Agreed. 2 for 2. Go get him, Corey. Jacob Glazer, hope your pops feels better, Joe. Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate that, man. Who's the better stash? Chuba Hubbard or Jordan Mason?
Jordan Mason.
Next is Melissa McDaniel, Standard League, Gabe Davis or Lenny Fournette?
I'm not playing Leonard Fournette against the 49ers in standard where you have to score a touchdown. like all those receptions do nothing for you for like very small yardage. So I guess I'm going to go with Gabe and just hope he falls in the end zone.
Don Newman, Michael Gallup, or DJ Chark in the flex half PPR? I'm going with the DJ here. We had a good case. You and I were very simpatico on the DJ. We talked about playing the total. We did touch on what we think Jameson Williams may or may not do this week. I was more on the slowly getting him back in there, especially this game is a big in-division game here where I just think the Lions want to get everybody out there they can who can help them win the game. And I don't know if Williams is quite up to speed yet. So I'm going DJ. What do you say to Don?
Yeah, I'm going with DJ here as well. Very productive last week. He's been productive this year when he's been healthy. Now, I know he missed a huge chunk during the beginning of the season or during the middle of the season, but he's been productive. Great matchup against the Vikings. Whereas Gallup could score 2 touchdowns, or it could be Lamb that scores 2 touchdowns, or Pollard or Zeke, or Dallas is going to score somehow. We just don't know where to put it. Whereas Chark, feel pretty good about his role in the offense as the number 2 beside Amon-Ra St. Brown.
See, Sean Donahue's got a comment. He wants Gary Busey on the show too. See, let's go. Let's go get Gary Busey. It would be fun. Silly sings, will Ken Walker play? Is he trustable? If not, I need to start Cam Akers. I'm not really optimistic about Walker this week. Are you?
No, I mean, when guys start out the week with DNPs, it usually means they're not going to play. That's just kind of like the trend, and the fact that he jammed his ankle. Look, I mean, he's a guy they invested a lot into as a high second-round pick. The Seahawks, yes, are trying to make the playoffs, but I don't necessarily think they need to rush back their star running back, especially with
they got a real shot too, and they can win this. I think if you're Pete Carroll, I think you can win this game without him.
I mean, he's a running back at the end of the day. Like we know that these guys can get replaced. So
harsh.
It's
so
fact.
harsh.
Oh yeah, I think playing Cam Akers is fine.
You're such a cold-hearted man. It's Christmas time, Ebenezer. Don't you know? Don't you understand what time of year this is? You have to warm your heart with a cool island song. Tanner Harlow. If you get that reference, we can be friends. Tanner Harlow need 1 wide receiver, 1 RB, 1 flex in the half PPR. So Palmer, Chark, Slayton, Perine, or James Cook. So we got to get a wide receiver, an RB, and a flex from this group. What do you want to do?
So I want the Chark as my wide receiver. I want Cook as my running back. And then I will go with Slayton, who D-Bro spoke praise of on the podcast that'll be released later today. Just, in fact, he talked about the fact how, yes, it's a tough matchup against the Eagles cornerbacks, but if you look at who the Eagles have given up big plays to, it's been speed guys that can deliver speed. Slayton's been the clear number 1 for the Giants all this year. So I think that he would be a great option here, unless Mike Williams doesn't play, in which case I might be pivot to Palmer. But if Mike
Palmer
Williams is
over
active,
who? Over Slayton?
Yeah.
I would agree with that. If Williams is out, and I expect him to be out, I don't know if we're going to see Williams out. At this point, not very trustable. But in which case, I like Palmer a lot in this matchup against the Raiders. But I would play him over Slayton. Jamison Woodruff. I'm the Fields owner with my replacement, Deshaun. Someone drop Dak. Pick up Dak to start this week and drop Deshaun. Yes, please do that. I need to win. You cannot trust Deshaun Watson. You have to do it right now. Just keep watching the stream. This is good. Like the stream, and now go do it. Just do it immediately. Sir Blue, hi guys, need your help. Should I play the Raiders D this week or pick up the Bengals D? You want to play the Bengals D against Deshaun Watson? I can understand the thought process there. I think that the offensive line with the Chargers had a lot of issues. We had a big conversation last night about the Raiders and what they might be able to bring. We put up 8 fantasy points last week. 6 the previous 2 weeks there. I mean, they're kind of hovering around just fine. That's where they are. But what do you think? You want to play the Raiders or you want to play the Bengals this week defensively?
I think I still want to play the Bengals here. I mean, they have a good matchup against Deshaun Watson and the Browns. And the Bengals are actually a good defense too. Like, I think that we don't talk about
they're
it
not a
enough.
good fantasy defense. In all honesty, they're 28th. Like they're this is the thing we always do. And I think it's Bogman and I are like doing the IDP show every week. We always talk about this too. Is like, there's some really good defensive players who aren't good IDP players, and there's really bad defensive players who are great IDP players. We love them. I feel like the Bengals are kind of that thing where like, yeah, they're a pretty good defense, but they don't put up points because they don't create turnovers. They don't get to a lot of sacks and things like that. I think you're going to get Max Crosby. I think you're going to get some sacks in this game here on Hubbard. I'm playing for the sacks. I know it's tempting. And maybe Deshaun's got some turnovers, but I am on the Raider side of this here because the Bengals just don't put up fantasy points, unfortunately.
And you mean Walford, because they're playing the Rams, not the Chargers.
Oh, the Rams, right? I'm sorry about that.
I mean, it's still. I mean, it's all the same reason.
Mike,
like, they have a bad
I was thinking LA
line.
in my head there. So sorry. Yes, the Rams. Yes, getting to Wolford. They've had offensive
Mayfield,
line issues.
Whoever they have a quarterback.
Or if it's Baker Mayfield, I like it even more.
Yeah, I think Raiders is probably more upside. Yeah.
Please give me all of the Baker Mayfield Rams against the Raiders D. I will be playing them in DFS. I can tell you that much. I'm already in there. King fan, flex and half PPR, Slayton or DPJ. I know what Andrew's going to say.
Slayton.
Slating it up.
Tis
Cody
the season.
Tis the season. There you go. Cody Schlott leading a 3-way tie for second seed. What a spicy meatball it is. Both PPR, pick one. McKinnon, James Cook, or Marshall.
James Cook.
Agreed. 2 for 2. Darth Corazon. Wow, that sounds like a telenovela villain. Have you met my friend Darth Corazon? He is very bad. He's just moved to town. He's very dark. He's sinister. Stay away from him. Half PPR, Gabe Davis, Gallup, or Mike Evans this week.
I'm just going to play Mike Evans. It's a good
All
matchup.
right.
I know he's been bad, but it's not like those other guys have been superstars either.
Grant LA, help. Start Latavius Murray or Hollywood Brown in my flex PPR.
Latavius. He's a full bell cow. It's a good matchup against. I mean, the Chiefs' defense is not that great. Like at running back against receivers. I know the Broncos' offense sucks, but Murray had 21 touches last week, and Hollywood Brown, tougher match against the Patriots. I would go with Murray.
All right. Edward's got a question here. This is going to be a tricky one here. I have a first round bye, but come week 16, what am I going to do? I have Etienne, Kamara, Connor, and White at RB, but I'll need to sit one. Who rides the bench? We're trying to get to week 16. I love you, Edward. But like, I have not broken down those matchups. We don't know what the health situation is. So this is an impossible question, I think, to answer properly. What I could tell you is this. It is hard to bench the volume of James Conner. It's hard to bench the upside Travis Etienne brings. And we have to see what White continues to do in the next couple of weeks. Kamara, to me, is this issue where, I mean, at a certain point, when do we throw our hands up here, Andrew? But we can't answer week 16 yet. You have to hold all these guys and hope that you're getting a situation where you get some clarity, and it might be clear for you. You might have some injuries. You might have some other issues, or you might have some really good performances where you get real confident. A lot can change in 2 weeks. A lot can change in 1 week, 1 game. What do you think about this question, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it off the cuff, I mean, it's probably going to be White for me. I think that he's going to still be in a committee with Leonard Fournette.
Probably,
and
yeah.
I know Kamara's been horrible, but Kamara's also played like the murderer's row of run defenses in the last 5 weeks. Like every good run defense, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, the Ravens, the Bucks, like all the top tier run defenses he's played. He plays the Falcons when he comes back from his bye week. And Mark Ingram's also out for the season. So look, I don't know what your take is on Kamara, like long-term, Joe, but
I'm out.
I know it seems like this is like going to be his last season with the Saints. Like he's going to get suspended next year. The Saints are in a very weird period in terms of like their salary cap. They may finally have to pay the piper in terms of like push it out for another year. I think that Kamara may not be on the Saints, so they have all the reason in the world to like, yep, let's just ride him to the ground. And
Look,
he's not our problem.
The Saints
anymore.
were an old team coming into this season anyway. They should tear it down and just start over. I mean, that's just what they should do at this point. Brevin Hampton music, Carr tonight or Goff on Sunday?
I think I'd rather play. You have more shootout potential with the Goff matchup rather than tonight, which I think will be more likely to be one-sided. So I go with Goff.
Anthony Riccia, what's a good defense to stash for the playoffs that you guys like currently? Ravens and Eagles is what Anthony's got to deal with right now. Those are 2 pretty good ones. I can't imagine
Chiefs,
what's on the waiver wire.
The Chiefs would be the other one that I would mention.
The Chiefs Denver. D you just bashed and said they weren't any good? That Chiefs?
I mean, when they play the Broncos twice and they play the Texans next week, I mean,
that's pretty good.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what
Denver
this could do for you.
This week, a matchup against Denver doesn't help because it's not the playoffs. We're talking playoffs 15, 16,
Well,
17.
they play Texans next week, so that's...
You got Houston, Seattle, and Denver. That's what you got. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Would you do that over the Eagles?
So that's the thing. It's like, I mean, those 2 ones that they have are both really good too. So, I mean, you'd have to look in kind of strategic. All right, 16, I'd play this
Eagles
defense.
have Chicago, Dallas, New Orleans, just looking, and Baltimore. We'll pull them up real quick and take a look at them. Why can't I find Baltimore? Because they're so far down? Or
Pittsburgh, this week.
Yeah, why can't I find them? Where are they in the ECR? I can't find them. Where'd they go, Andrew? I've lost the Baltimore Ravens.
They've got Atlanta, or they got the Browns, Atlanta, and then Pittsburgh again.
I just want to know why I can't find them at this point.
So
they are.
So Baltimore has all good matchups: Browns, Falcons, Steelers. So those are all good.
Those are all very good.
That might be the best one. So I guess Eagles D you could drop for the Chiefs, but again, it's like the Eagles have a good schedule too. So I think you're fine with those 2, honestly.
Yeah, play for turnovers, play for sacks. That's what you're looking for. Next one here from Matt Sheckelman. Rank these guys rest of season half PPR. Pitmann, Aiyuk, Burks, and the JuJu. I actually think that's the order, to tell you the truth.
I I just don't know where Burks is at with his injury, so I just don't know how much time he's going to miss.
Okay, I can even put Burks 4th. Yeah, that's fair.
So that matters. Because I mean, if he was healthy, I'd probably rank him higher. Man, yeah, this is tough. So
I think that's the order.
Yeah.
if Burks
There's
is healthy,
there's so many
it's the
question
order.
marks
If it's
with
not,
all these
Burks
guys.
is last.
Yeah,
But I think that kind of
I-
tells you. Like if you had to get rid of somebody, I would get rid of Burks because the health and the fact that they have no passing game. Like it's just not something that they have.
yeah,
As talented as Burks is, like if you got a roster crunch or something, that's the situation I would be going through. Like, he's not
I
healthy.
think this is
You can always
probably
pick him
the
back
right
up.
order. Yeah, this is probably the right order. Just because Aiyuk takes a hit with Purdy, like we don't know what's going to happen with him. Pittman, at least you kind of know what you're getting, and it's like a souped up version of Deontay Johnson. and JuJu is just kind of inconsistent.
The bulletproof. Do I start Foster Moreau or David Njoku this week?
So the last time Njoku came back from like his injury, like he didn't play a full complement of snaps. So even if he's playing, like, is he going to be 100%? Probably not, just based on what we saw last time. So Moreau, he's going to play all the snaps. It's actually a good matchup against the Rams. The Rams have kind of been bad against tight ends lately. So I think I'd roll with Moreau and just not risk, because Njoku's still not guaranteed to play. So I don't want to take a risk of missing out on a solid, unless the only thing I do, maybe if you can stream Hunter Henry instead, I think you play Hunter Henry over both these guys.
Yes, all the Hunter Henry this week, everybody.
But
Let's
of
go.
those two, I think I'd just probably roll with Moreau tonight.
All right, let's go to the next one here. We've got the bulletproof. Oh, no, we already did both. Kenny, who do I pick for flex? Zonovan Knight, James Cook, or Williams?
I mean, this would have been easy if DeAndre Swift had not popped up on the injury report this week with his ankle injury.
He's a walking injury report. Don't let
no,
that
but it's just one of those things where it's all like the red carpet's laid out, and then he's on the injury report. And we're like, here we go again. I'm gonna play Jamal Williams still. Like, it's a great game. He's probably gonna score a touchdown like he does every week. Yeah.
Okay, next on the docket here, we've got OG1 Kenobi. If Mike Williams doesn't play, do I start DJ Moore? Yes. I have Foreman, and I'm very weary of starting them both. I don't care. You play DJ Moore. DJ Moore is a decent start this week against Seattle.
Yep.
Look, I know Darnold didn't throw the ball a lot. It was his first game. He's playing against a Denver secondary that's very good. Just want to edge him back in, then ease him back in. You did that. DJ Moore still caught a touchdown. Yes, we're back in the DJ Moore business. It's safe to go out and DJ Moore again, everybody. You're welcome. Also, the other thing that's very safe is my playbook. It's a safe way to get all the tools you need to make sure that your roster is set for the playoffs, and obviously this week going into the playoffs. So if you need help picking up players, if you need help starting players, if you need help just setting lineups, my playbook. fantasypros.com/myplaybook. That's the place to do it. Sync your teams for free. You can upgrade at fantasypros.com/offers as well. Look, this is it. This is nitty-gritty time. Don't waste the opportunity to win a fantasy championship. Download the app as well. And my playbook is available on Apple and Google Play stores also. Next on the docket here, this is from Mark. Winner go home, Slayton, Palmer, or Sutton. Well, Sutton's not playing, so it's Palmer or Slayton.
I think Mark was trying to troll me.
You know what? I approve that message, Mark. Let's go.
I think we've hit on this before. I think if Mike Williams doesn't play, I think it's Slayton that you want to, or if Mike Williams doesn't play, sorry, Palmer would be the guy I want. But if Mike Williams plays, I'd want to play Slayton.
Edwin Moreau, Zeke or DJ Moore in the flex. Need this for the playoffs. Look, Zeke's going to score a touchdown in this game against Houston. Like, it's just lock it up. It's going to be ugly, but you can lock it up.
If you look at Zeke has been a top 13 running back in every single game he's played since he came back because he keeps scoring touchdowns.
Yeah,
so
and he's going to have one against Houston.
Him.
He's going to have one like Zeke.
Yep.
You play Zeke, you take the touchdown, you get out. Jimmy True, Cook or Singletary for the start. I already have Walker hurt. I'm playing Cook this week. I think you are too, right?
Yep.
We're in the business of James Cook. Let's go. Nate Dowell, is Cam Akers fine for flex? Yeah, he's fine. He's not like fine.
Not on a Thursday because you don't want to play your Thursday players in flex.
Very good. So there you go. So good point. So you want to move him to the RB spot. RB2 spot. NE Patriots. I have CMC. Should I cuff Jordan Mason? Or should I drop Nico Collins or Deonta Foreman for him? I'm not dropping Foreman for him. I think that's a very bad idea, especially this week. Could be a great game to play him. I think Mason is the guy. Nico Collins is who I drop. I'm fine with that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you're not starting Nico Collins, I mean, yeah, at this point you really want to fortify your starting roster and fill your bench with like backup handcuffs like a Jordan Mason. Like if you're never going to start Nico Collins and he serves you no purpose, whereas Jordan Mason is the ultimate insurance in case CMC, this knee injury flares up. You have an answer at the position versus Nico, who's not going to make a difference.
Brian O'Neill, Connor Pacheco, or Jeff Wilson this week?
I'm going with Pacheco.
Okay, why?
He's played really well over the last couple of weeks. He's the starting running back for the Denver Broncos. Their run defense is not good. And I think that the Chiefs are going to score more points than these other teams. So Jeff Wilson, I still don't know what the split's going to be with Mostert and James Conner. Yes, is a volume monster. Probably has a higher floor than Pacheco, but I don't think his ceiling is extremely high going against the Patriots.
I kind of feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are going to take out their frustrations on the Broncos this week. I really do. I would play Connor because it's safer with the volume. I just would. But I like playing Pacheco better. I would play Connor because it's safer in this particular instance because I just want the volume. Justin Pearson, Greg Dulcich, or Dalton Schultz this week. And should I flex one over Burks, Collins, or Corey Davis? I don't like playing two tight ends unless their names are Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews, or Travis Kelce and somebody who has a phenomenal matchup that I just can't stay away from. I don't think these are either of them. Who do you want to play first, Dulcich or Schultz?
I'll play Schultz. The Texans they don't give up a lot of points to wide receivers, but they give up more production to tight ends in the end zone. You're going to figure that Dalton Schultz has some touchdown equity. So he could keep, Michael Gallup caught the 2 red zone touchdowns last week. That could be Dalton Schultz this week. So I like Schultz over Dulcich. And then at the receiver position, I don't think Burks is going to play. I don't love Corey Davis, so I would go with Nico Collins because he's going to see probably like 10 targets from Davis Mills and maybe catch 3 for a touchdown. So I'll go with him.
Kyle Atisha, do I start Cam Akers tonight in a full PPR, or do I risk it and see if Walker plays? I just don't think Walker's going to play. I think you got to play Cam.
Yep,
you have to do it.
Play Cam. Yep.
Patrick Kubiak from Germany, would you start Goff, Swift, and Jamal Williams in a standard league? Yeah, this week? Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go.
I mean, the Lions have the 3rd highest implied team total. They have a good offense. Like, you want to start players in good offenses, and the Lions are a good offense.
And they're at home in the dome where Jared Goff likes to live. Jacob Hendricks, he's an indoor cat, Jared Goff. Indoor cat. Jacob Hendricks, keep Higbee or drop and pick up Bellinger.
I'm dropping Higbee. He's not
Okay.
running routes.
I'd rather pick up Hunter Henry, Jacob. I'm sure
blocking.
Hunter Henry's out there.
Yeah, Hunter Henry first.
Okay. Robert Uragas, should I start JuJu or Slayton or Singletary?
I'll start Slayton.
Matthew Chalk, half PPR, James Cook, Terrace Marshall, or Van Jefferson this week. I'm playing Cook.
Cook for me too.
Shybox, Akers or Pierce? Man, the Pierce stuff has really gone in a bad direction. I think he's just hit a wall. I think he's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, think about it. Like
possible.
The college season is 12 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what he's used to. We're in uncharted territory now for a young running back, and this is the NFL. It's a lot different scenario. It's not like he had some like cookie cutter matchup against Southern Mississippi, agricultural state where you could just kind of cakewalk through it and only play 2 quarters. You know what I mean? Like you don't have that. Like it's a little different here for some of these rookie running backs. Jasmeet Nijar, Etienne or Pacheco in the half PPR. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, this one's also very close for me too. So I chose Pacheco over Connor because it was close, but this one is also close for me. But I think I go Etienne for the reasons that we talked about on the show, where it's like Etienne is just a better running back than both of these guys. I feel pretty strongly about that versus Pacheco versus James Conner. It's like, okay, like whatever. Like James Conner doesn't create a lot on his own anymore. So I would go with Etienne here.
Spencer Taylor, help start DJ Chark, Gus Edwards, James Cook, Cam Akers for my 2 flexes in PPR. I'm starting the DJ and I'm starting the Cook. How about you?
Yep, I think that one's a no-brainer, honestly. Those two.
No-brainer. Easy peasy. Go get him, Spencer. Joe 96, 2 questions. Foreman or McKinnon?
Foreman. Easy.
Corey Davis or Slayton?
Slayton.
Done.
See,
Mr. French Fry.
I don't want people to fall into this Corey Davis trap. I think it's super trappy. Like, he had 10 targets last week, but a lot of them came in the second half. Both of Mike White's interceptions came targeting Corey Davis.
I know, but I mean, look, I think Corey Davis is fine, but I get the Slayton over Davis this week. I got no problem with that. Mr. French Fry, pick 2, Etienne, Foreman, or Pacheco?
I'm going to go with Etienne and Foreman.
Really? I was going to go Etienne and Pacheco. You have Foreman over Pacheco this week. You're not worried about his health at all?
Foreman? No.
Yeah.
He said he's like, what, 95% sure he's going to play?
Yes. Let's go to Justine Garcia. I have Justin Herbert and Fields, but Rodgers and Goff are on the waiver wire. Should I drop either one for those two? I see. I don't know about this. Like, if you have Herbert and Fields, I'm guessing we're in a super flex situation here.
This can't be a super flex league. Rodgers and Goff are on
Oh
the
no,
waiver
it can't be.
wire.
What am I saying? Because these guys are on the waiver wire. No, so you have Herbert and you have Fields. You play Herbert this week, and when Fields come back, you play him. That's it. I mean, if you want to drop Herbert for the one short-sighted week of Goff, you want to do that?
No, because remember, so we're going to start the playoffs next week. So these quarterbacks are going to still be available because there's only so many teams that are still like
Right.
making roster moves. So unless you're doing this to, like, hoard quarterbacks away from your opponents, then no. I mean, Herbert and Fields are the two best quarterbacks here, so I'm going to keep them.
Okay.
And
all right, let's go to the next one here. Zach Dempsey, Jerry Jeudy, or Latavius Murray in flex spot in the full PPR.
I think that it's a floor ceiling conversation. Like, if you really want to lock in production with Murray, I think that he's probably the safer floor guy. Jerry Jeudy, I think, has a higher ceiling. I usually aim for ceiling, so I would start Jerry Jeudy. But
Master J3, Michael Carter, Pierce, or Akers. Yeesh.
Probably
play
Akers. Yeah,
I'm playing Akers. Curse Sniper, full PPR against the number one team, Carr versus Huntley. I'm playing Carr.
I'm playing Carr.
Zay Jones versus Michael Carter versus Collins versus Perine.
Look, I know Zay Jones like totally flopped last week, but he's had a lot of still decent games, and he's facing the Titans' pass funnel defense. So I'm going to go back to Zay Jones here with those other options.
Peter Marinaro. Peter Marinaro. Pardon me. Should I drop the Pats D for James Cook? Well, I mean, you absolutely can. If there's other defenses you can stream, or if you have two defenses, I don't know what. Like, you have to play a defense.
Yeah, I mean, well, you look at the Patriots' schedule. I mean, the Patriots play the Cardinals, Raiders, Bengals, and Dolphins. It's not like they have good. Their schedule's not like great. So
you could drop.
I feel fine dropping them.
Drop away. All right, next here we have Brandon Cades. Full PPR, pick one wide receiver, one flex. Pickens, Corey Davis, Chark, or the healthy Seattle RB, or Pierce.
So I'm paying. I'm just gonna play Chark and Pickens. Like,
Pickens and Chark is where I'm going to.
Like, I get that the Seattle running back thing is like a conundrum, but the way I see it is they're just gonna air it out with Geno to DK Metcalf and Lockett and just be like whatever with the running back. Like, I don't know how you see it. Is it going to be Travis Homer week, like DeeJay Dallas? Like,
no, nobody knows. No, it's Pickens and Chark, and I get out. That's what I do.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one here. Raekwon made my playoffs. Thank you, guys. All right, Debo or Marquise Hollywood Brown rest of season. I like Brown.
I like Brown too.
Okay, don't forget, we also got a football we're trying to give away. Autographed by Jerry Jeudy himself from pristineauction.com. If you want a chance to win that football this holiday season, go and subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, like the stream, and then, of course, drop a comment or question in the chat. And that's it. You're entered to win. See, wasn't that hard. And, of course, don't forget to turn that little bell on for notifications so it goes ding, so you know every time a piece of content drops here at Fantasy Pros. And if you've been alerted, because you are the big winner. Again, Jerry Jeudy, signed football, pristine auction, can be yours. Subscribe to the YouTube. There you go. Let's go to Jeremy Aguilar's question. Slayton, Pickens, Thielen, half PPR, pick two. Thielen's the odd man out for me, Jeremy.
I'm going Pickens and Thielen. I still like the matchup against the Lions.
Okay. Poncho Villain, Burrow is my playoff QB. Any deep league QB recommendations for a backup or keep the extra bench spot?
I'd rather roster a second defense or a running back handcuff than draft.
Yeah,
you're never going to take Burrow out of your lineup. So I don't see
if Burrow gets hurt, you're not replacing Burrow from what's out there anyway, probably.
Yeah.
Like, you're just streaming and hoping anyway.
Yeah.
Denny Flores, Etienne, Pierce, Pacheco, White, or Wilson. Pick three. So Etienne, Pacheco, and then where do you want to go from there?
I probably just take Pierce. Just lock in some floor with him.
I would take White, especially as a PPR. I would play White, Pacheco, and Etienne. I'm very upset.
It doesn't save its P. I agree with you. If it is full PPR, then White over Pierce.
Mr. Filthy Wubs, drop DeeJay Dallas for a different handcuff.
Which one, Mr. Filthy Wubs?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of out there. Nicholas Emmanuel, Rashad White, or James Cook?
Cook.
Chi-Town, Geno Smith or Dak Prescott?
This one I've struggled with in my own rankings because I see how many points the Cowboys could score, and it's just like a matter of, okay, like, well, if Zeke scores all the touchdowns, that's not good for Dak, and you're trying to figure out how they're going to score. So I think Geno probably has like the higher upside because I think that if they don't have their main running back, then they're just going to chuck the ball. Like, I think that's probably the most likely scenario. He has Metcalf, he has Lockett. Geno's been on fire the last couple weeks.
He really has.
So I think Dak still has a super high floor because obviously it's the Texans, and he's gonna do something well. So I'd go with Geno, I think, though, just based on the optics of the situation.
Here's one from Giannis. Hey guys, love the show. Standard scoring. Flex 2. Jamal Williams, Devonta Smith, Brandon Aiyuk, and Zonovan Knight. Thanks, Giannis. Appreciate you. I like Zonovan Knight this week. I know a lot of people are not in that same vein, but standard scoring, I think you got to play Williams and Knight and hope for the touchdown. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely not Brandon Aiyuk. Just
No.
because of the quarterback question marks.
I play Jamal Williams. I play Knight. Playing TDs.
Jamal Williams and Knight, I think, are probably the safest two guys.
Jake Burt, Geno, Cousins, Lawrence. Which one?
Geno.
Marcus Sterling, Tannehill, or Huntley? I'm playing Huntley.
I agree. Huntley.
Samir Sharif, Moreau, Higbee, or Evan Ingram?
Foster Moreau.
Kale, Freddie Krueger, Swift, or Stevenson?
Stevenson.
Yeah, still Stevenson.
Easy.
I like that Swift is back and better. Let's go. We called it last week.
Don't forget about, I know it's been a while since we saw Stevenson, but we saw him play basically every single snap without Damian Harris, so it's also a better matchup this week.
Ryan Collins, I have a dilemma. Metcalf, Garrett Wilson, Lamb, Hill. Pick 3. Lamb concerns me with game script. I can understand that. I'm playing Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is the wide receiver 3 the last 2 weeks. You have to play Garrett Wilson. You have to play Tyreek Hill. So we've got one more spot here. So do you want to play DK Metcalf or Lamb?
I mean, I guess he's correct when he talks about Lamb with the game script. Like, if they're going to look at how these guys fail potentially, it's because the Cowboys just run the football and they don't have to throw it. So look, it's a good problem to have. Obviously, you want to start all these guys, but yeah, I think that is a legitimate concern with Lamb. So I think that he's probably the smartest guy to bench.
All right. Reminder to everybody, too, we're giving away free stuff here on our Discord, too. So if you have the touchdown call contest and you'd like to win $25 to our Fantasy Pros shop, all you have to do is join our Discord. It's free to join. fantasypros.com/chat. Join the Fantasy Pros family. Join the community. Let's talk football. Let's hang out. Let's get everything as best as we can for our lineup set. Let's get in some fun leagues with people. Let's have some fun on Discord. Check it out. And when you go premium, you get to make touchdown calls. Hearts 24K still at the top of this leaderboard. Unbelievable run. But it doesn't matter because every week we're giving away $25 to our Fantasy Pros shop. So you can go get yourself a hat, t-shirt, leg warmers. Do we have leg warmers? I don't know. We should if we don't.
We got to get them.
we do. I don't know what Chris's favorite thing is on the shop there. I don't know. He likes he's got a Fantasy Pros turtleneck he likes to wear with a blazer on the holidays. It's very classy. Very class. Actually, it's not even it's not a turtleneck. It's a dickie. Let's be honest. That's what it is. Let's go to Jared Brown, Justin Herbert, or Deshaun Watson. This is not close. I'm playing Herbert. This is not a conversation to have yet. Okay. Let Deshaun Watson show you. He showed you nothing last week. Jeremy Lyles. I have Lamar and Deshaun Watson. Yike. Should I look to pick up Purdy? Yeah.
I would try. I mean, I like
should.
Huntley probably more if you can get him, but yeah.
Yes.
You definitely need somebody.
I don't know if Purdy's long for this job. Do you think that Josh Johnson's going to get? I mean,
I thought about that. Like,
I kind of think Josh Johnson's going to take over at some point. I really do. So if Huntley's out there, I'd rather have Huntley because then I could just drop him when Lamar's back. That's an easier set of circumstances too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to Young Krillo, who I believe is a rapper. Flex Etienne or Garrett Wilson?
Wilson.
Yes. Untamed. Etienne, Jeff Wilson, or Zonovan Knight in the PPR. Help.
I'll go with Etienne.
Taylor Wellman. Need 1 RB, 1 flex, full PPR. James Cook, Samaje Perine, Pierce, DPJ, and the Pickens. So an RB and a flex. Who you got?
I'm going to go with James Cook as my running back and then Pickens.
Yep. Agreed. Let's go to Daniel Safford. Mike White versus Buffalo or Tyler Huntley versus Pittsburgh? I'm playing Mike White.
At Buffalo?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm
yeah 57 times. He threw the ball 57 times last week.
And he was like, 0 for what in the red zone?
I don't care. On the road was,
He's
it's a
due
lot
for
of.
regression.
I know, and I'm the one who said he was last week too. And I know Huntley's had some moments. It's great, but that Baltimore offense is bad, dude. It's so bad. They have no weapons. I'm gonna put my faith in the weapons of Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore and those guys and hope I get something. That's where I'm at. I get it. I get playing Huntley. I would play White. Carl Blackenshine. Standard flex 1. Pierce, White, Perine. Corey Davis, DJ Chark. Who do you want flex? And a standard.
I'll just play Pierce. If it's a standard, I just don't have any faith those other guys are gonna see the ball enough. So
Joe Smulders, new subscriber. Love the show. See, week 14, we still get new subscribers. I love this. People still finding the show. Welcome aboard, Joe. Let's go to Jamal Williams or P. Ryan. That's his question. And start Ritter next week in a 2 QB league. I would try to avoid that situation if I could, but if you can't, I get it. Sometimes those first starts are the best ones, especially when they have time to prepare. It's usually that second start where everybody goes, oh, a little bit more tape on the guy, and we find out some of his weaknesses. So I don't hate it. I'd like to avoid it, but I understand we're in a spot here with some of these QBs in Superflex and 2 QB leagues where you don't have a choice. So he'll be a very low end. He'll be around the 24, 25, 26 range next week for me, for sure. That's where Ritter will be. But what about Jamal or P. Ryan?
So I like Jamal, especially because Swift was on the injury report this week, and Jamal still has that touchdown equity. So you want that in this matchup. With Ritter next week, I think it's just important to note. So they're playing the Saints. The Falcons ran all over the Saints the first time these teams met earlier in the season, and Desmond Ritter offers mobility. And the Saints have traditionally struggled against mobile quarterbacks. So I think that Desmond Ritter could surprise, especially without any tape on him. It's the same thing in Jalen Hurts. His first start was against the New Orleans Saints. And what happened? He ran all over them. So I'm not saying that Desmond Ritter is Jalen Hurts, but I'm just saying that this defense traditionally struggles against mobile quarterbacks. The Falcons want their quarterback to run. So I think that he could surprise. So yeah, I mean, especially if he's been playing Mariota in that spot and Desmond Ritter's your next guy, then yeah, I think that he's fine.
Here's one from Joe Pizzapia fan. See, I have one. Where's Andrew Erickson Truther today? I can only imagine this is the same person. What do I do with Waddle? Well, you wait. If you have a better option, I get it. But he's a tremendous talent. I know last week was very disappointing, but Tua was also hurt. I think there's a lot of things to look.
I mean, Waddle got hurt too.
Yeah, I mean, Waddle's right. We're doing what I'm saying. You have to wait, hope that the health gets better, and hope that he takes off in the playoffs. I mean, the playoff matchups are like Green Bay and New England. I think if memory serves, those are the teams he's playing. If you to sit Jalen Waddle, you've got to have a really, really deep wide receiver roster, and chances are that's just not something you're going to do. So right now, you're ride or die with Jalen Waddle. That's what you do. This one's from Chubbs. Start 2, bench 1, Swift, Knight, or Pierce. I'm going to bench Pierce.
Yep.
That's what I'm doing. Truly epic. Start every defense playing Houston through the playoffs. A good idea. It's not a terrible one.
Sounds good to me.
I got no argument on the other side. Steve Spihar. Hello, gentlemen. PPR, DJ Chark, or Zay Jones. I'm playing DJ this week.
Chark. Yep.
Cynthia Malone, Brady, or Mike White.
See, I'll go with Mike White here because Brady has no mobility, so I'll go Mike White.
Yeah, Mr. Bosa is going to be friends with Tom Brady this weekend, especially with Wirfs out too. That's a big loss. Just saying. Andrew Erickson Truther. Oh, they're back. Andrew Erickson Truther. Hey guys, I need one wide receiver, one flex. Palmer, JuJu, DPJ, Van Jefferson. Thank you. So let's go one wide receiver and a flex. I'm gonna go with Palmer. And where do you want to go the other spot?
Oh, God. Van Jefferson's kind of interesting, but
I think you got to play JuJu and hope for the best. I know I hate it,
yeah,
but I don't think I have a choice on this
one.
Yeah,
I mean, if I got to attach myself to a fringe receiver attached to Mahomes, there's always a shot that it works out. So I think I'm probably going to do that versus Van Jefferson or Peoples-Jones, who, they play a lot, but their quarterbacks are just not good right now. So, yeah.
Here's from Lil Shouty Spice. My favorite. Love Lil Shouty Spice. Always here in the chat. Happy Thursday, pros. Should I stream Geno, Lawrence, or Tannehill this week?
Geno.
Agreed. Let's go to iSureShot. Drop CPAT for Mason. I don't think you want to do that.
I don't want to drop a starting running back for a backup. That's not going to play.
Especially with Ritter coming in. Let's see what happens.
Unless Patterson is... No, actually, no. I don't know if there's any scenario where you can do it.
If you're the CMC
I was going to say, like,
manager.
if Patterson's like your RB5 and you have CMC, then that's the only way I could potentially explain away that roster move. And even then, I feel like it's not smart to do.
John Frey, any update on Burks' status? I haven't seen anything today yet.
I know he didn't practice on Wednesday, and that's usually just, I mean, he had a concussion, and guys usually miss at least 1 week with a concussion.
So far, there have been missing weeks, so I would be preparing for life without Treylon Burks.
Yep.
That's what I'd be preparing for. I know there was a question in here. I lost it in the chat, but I did see it when I was glancing at the YouTube about who to start. Here it is. Edward Ryan, don't dodge the question. Win or go home, full PPR. Start Joey P or Andrew Erickson. Who do you start?
Andrew Erickson, obviously.
Well, you're the PPR guy, but I'm the guy that catches all the touchdowns. Let's be honest. I mean, let's call it what it is. You're the possession wide receiver.
Call a spade a spade.
I mean, Chris, let's let Chris answer this question because Chris was the quarterback of our flag football team of Fantasy Pros, and he is the reigning defending champion, even though he tried to trade us in the offseason, which is very upsetting. He tried to, like, I heard he was in talks to go to the West team. I'm sorry, we can stay East strong. So, Chris, how do you parse these two? Me and Erickson here. He would trade both of us for a first round pick and cash. The end cash is the
specifically a cash of suitcase.
That was his answer, folks. We got to find a way to get him on the show audio wise. Sometimes I think we should do that. We need like a Chris board where it's that picture of him from Discord, not Discord, from Slack. And just like we flash him on there. That was next year, Chris. Get on that. All right, Justine Garcia's back again. I know you're supposed to start your studs, but in half PPR with 7-point bonus for rushing, 100 plus, Chubb, Pacheco, White, Cook, or Hubbard with Foreman injured. Choose two. I can't take Chubb out. I think it's Chubb and Pacheco. You got to go that route. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why, like, the start your studs.
Well, if she's saying, do I take out Chubb because I think that Foreman could have a monstrous day or something like that? That I can understand.
If you were going to take out one, then you just take out Pacheco, like not.
Yeah, but I want to take out Pacheco. I don't want to do that.
I mean, I think Pacheco. You think Pacheco is that much better of a play than Foreman?
I think the Kansas City Chiefs offense is that much better than the Panthers, and I just want to give myself more shots.
Don't you think that the Seattle defense is that much worse than the Broncos defense?
Yes, that's fair.
Okay. I mean, I just think Pacheco.
They're close.
Pacheco, yeah, they're close. But
so who would you play? You would.
I think Chubb. I think Chubb is the only clear-cut stud among all these players. Like, right?
Okay. So you want to play Chubb and Foreman, and I want to play Chubb and Pacheco.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mosaic Rift, thanks for being here to help flex Myers or Akers this week. Half PPR.
I'm just gonna play Akers. Myers is just the
dust in the wind now.
I mean, he's been hurt, so that's kind of why he hasn't been that great. But I mean, he doesn't catch touchdowns. Akers has a better Akers has a much better chance of scoring, so I go with him.
IDP question. So this is for me. Hufanga, Elliott, Poyer, or Duggar. You're definitely playing Poyer this week. There's absolute equity in there for a turnover. You got to play Poyer in that secondary. They threw the ball 57 times. One of them is going to go in the wrong place right now. So definitely playing him. Man, probably Hufanga too. I'd probably play Hufanga and Poyer. They're in the top 10.
I was going to say Duggar, but that's probably wrong.
Duggar is a DB2 this week, but Hufanga, Elliott, and Poyer are all in that fringy DB1 conversation.
Well, I was only going to say Duggar because I know the Cardinals run a lot of plays, and I just figured that means that
Duggar's not a bad choice.
Okay.
I would say this. I'll say this to Andrew's point. Duggar's a safer play. Hufanga is more the upside play. I would play Poyer and Duggar if you just need the points and get out. That's an easy way. Because Elliott, I just don't think is going to, be in a situation that it's going to work a lot. Bam Knight, Jameson Williams, Treylon Burks, if he plays. This one's from Z. I'm playing Bam in the standard league especially. Bam! The Emerald Lagasse of running backs. Jolu G, DK, Hopkins, or Godwin in the PPR. We can only play one? Man. I'm playing Hopkins. He's just the best guy.
I don't know. I mean, DK's been on a heater. I mean, Metcalf has been, ever since he got hurt in that game, he's just been on an absolute tear. I think Hopkins,
Chin has been back though, too.
Oh, I guess. I mean, JC Horn's pretty good too, so I guess I'll go with Hopkins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hopkins. But you're right, DK's been very good. All right, let's go to the next one here. Be more like Lamar. I have Komet and Njoku. I picked up Dulcich off waivers. Hunter Henry's available. Should I drop Dulcich for Henry? I say yes.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Brad, Kirk or Dak?
I read this really quick. I thought it said Kirk or Dad.
Dad? Kirk or Dak?
I'm going
playing
with Dak. I'm playing, Dak.
Robert Perine, start 2, PPR. Zeke, Swift, Etienne.
I'll go Zeke and Swift.
Me too. Swift or Foreman from Zerkio.
I'm gonna go Swift.
Agreed. Truly epic. Height guess. Joe Pisapia 5'8", Andrew Erickson 5'10".
I think it's right.
It's close. I'm 5'7". I'm not quite 5'8".
I think I might be 5'9". 5'10" might be pushing it.
Yeah, you gave a look. You know what? Truly epic. We're gonna take your heights instead. All right, there you go. I mean, I don't care. And by the way, Andrew Erickson, don't let the slender frame fool you. He is jacked. That guy. He takes the shirt off. He's got his muscles have muscles. It's unbelievable. You gotta watch this guy. It's unbelievable. You're shaking your head. No, it's true.
It's not true.
Jacked. Mitch Angeloni. Would you start Njoku this week? Waiting for one more week to get Goddard back.
Still don't know if Njoku's going to play. Yeah, I'd rather start Henry. Njoku's just really risky, so I would try not to play him.
Okay, Mitch Angelo. Oh, he did Mitch Angelo. What am I saying? Let's get to David Lee. Hey, fantasy gurus, need to pick 2 with the highest ceiling. Half PPR, Foreman, Pacheco, Connor. Foreman and Pacheco is the ceiling, guys. I don't think.
Yeah, Connor's not the ceiling.
Connor's
guy.
the floor guy.
Yep,
and a good floor guy.
Yeah,
he's great with floors. Terrific. Jorge Alfonso Sopedova Candena. Start Jeff Wilson instead of Pierce in the standard.
Yeah. It's got a way better chance of scoring.
I guess, yeah. Click
I mean,
Hawaii.
The Texans might get shut out. Like the Chargers or the Dolphins are not going to get shut out by the Chargers. So
wait, so you want Wilson or Pierce?
I want Wilson.
Yeah, you said Pierce.
Oh,
that's why I was confused. I think you did. It's all right.
My mind said Wilson. I apologize if my mouth said
Chris,
Pierce.
can we throw a flag on this one? You want to get the replay? I don't know. You got to replay it. That's why I was surprised. I was like, really? Pierce? That's why I made the face I made.
Yeah.
Chris isn't listening to us. He doesn't care. He's just here for the money. I know. He just said I wasn't listening. This is the kind of support. Remember all those nice things I said about the support from everybody? It's all lies. All right, let's get to Daniel C. Hey, guys. Need to help make the playoffs. RB2, PPR, Pacheco, Cook, Wilson, Bam Knight, or Fournette.
Pacheco.
All right, next is Jonathan Dodard. Should I keep Perine and Pierce or drop one for Bam Knight rest of season in the standard? I would drop... it's funny because I almost would rather drop Pierce at this point for Bam. Because I think Perine has some sneaky weird value if Joe Mixon should go down again.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to give that up. And the thing with Pierce is... You know, he's almost kind of like a landmine where someone might pick him up and then start him and then get no production for it. So I think that might be the strategy. Yeah.
I think Pierce for
Pierce.
Bam.
Bam.
Bam. Lex, roster J.K. Dobbins or Jameson Williams? It's Williams for me.
I mean, I like J.K. Dobbins. They got a really good playoff schedule.
Yeah, but he has to play.
Okay, yeah, but if he comes back this week, you're not gonna be able to stash him. Whereas Jameson Williams, you said yourself, not expecting a big game from him this week. So
this week, but
if Dobbins comes back and is the starter,
look, I don't think either will make an impact this week. But J.K. Dobbins may. I mean, how long have we waited for J.K. Dobbins? Like, at least I know the one guy's healthy. Anthony Tucci. Good afternoon. He says, "I love the show as always. Not sure if I should start Justin Herbert or Huntley.
I'm gonna start Herbert.
Why does everybody hate Herbert all of a sudden today?
I don't know. He's in a shootout. He's playing a shootout against the Dolphins. This is a great matchup.
Am I missing something? I don't have a lot of Herbert shares, and like I understand that the Chargers have been, muddy this year a little bit. He's QB8. What the hell's going on?
I don't know,
guys.
He's also I don't think has ever had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams play in the same game for like
QB8
more than like a quarter.
I'm not taking it on you, Anthony. It's not your fault. This is
like
a
lot of Justin Herbert questions.
It's like the 5th Justin Herbert question. Like, what are we trying to do?
He's my QB5, I think, this week. QB6.
He's my QB everything. Timothy Bresford, flex play. James Cook or DJ Moore?
I like James Cook. I know you like DJ Moore, but
I do like DJ Moore this week. I'm playing DJ Moore. Nicholas Rutherford, pick one, half PPR. Gus, Akers, Dobbins if he plays.
Akers. I don't want to wait to see what they do.
Andrea S, Rashad White or Bam Knight?
Bam Knight.
Bam. Let's go. Tim Everly, Saquon, Dalvin, Foreman, CD, Hopkins, and Garrett Wilson. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. So basically Tim's saying, do all the work for me. Okay, Tim. We'll do our best. Saquon in, yes?
You're just not playing Foreman. Is
that all it is?
Yep.
Easy. Yeah, I agree. You got to get Wilson in there. You You have to play Garrett Wilson. You
on
have to
fire.
do it. The
He's
other
on
thing you
fire.
have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you could win the Jerry Jeudy autograph football from Pristine Auction. Again, drop a comment in the chat. Drop a question. Be a subscriber. Like the stream. Click the bell. Do all the stuff you're supposed to do, and then good things happen to you, like Jerry Jeudy football showing up on your front doorstep. That's it. That's all you got to do. And of course, don't forget to like the stream on the way out here. And don't forget about My Playbook. Download the app today. It's free to download. You download that bad boy, help you set your lineups, find the right players, get everything you need for the playoff push. Now's not the time to be cheap. Now's the time to make an investment. You got this far. You're here. You're right on the precipice of a championship. Don't get cocky. Everybody can need help. Okay? Even Andrew Erickson, as smart as he is, he could use some help too. My Playbook. Download the app. Go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook and get your league sync today. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
Thanks for tuning in to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our featured videos. And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Fantasy